All right, I'm gonna sound a little bit weird, a little bit off because I am feeling sick. I mentioned it on Twitter, but Rangers lose 2-1 to the Toronto Maple Leafs, and that game absolutely was frustrating from every aspect of it because it was very winnable had the Rangers realized that puck drop was at 7 o'clock tonight versus 8 o'clock, and it also would have been winnable the if the puck wasn't bouncing a lot. The puck was bouncing all over the place. Guys were falling. I don't know what was up with the ice, if there was something wrong there, but guys were falling. And then the refs were beyond awful all night, but I'm not going to discredit the way that the Leafs played just because of that. Because when you get outworked 80-20 in the faceoff dot, you're not going to win a hockey game. You got outshot 30-28, but again, had the Rangers showed up in the first period, you know, maybe they stand some sort of a chance here in this one. But just a frustrating loss because it was so winnable, this one, especially late in the game where it looked like they were going to get one late and win this game or at least get a point out of it. But they don't. You can't win them all, which sucks, though, because God forbid we win 5 straight games, right? It's been since February 2020 since we've won 5 straight games. And the fact that we've had a chance twice now to win 5 in a row and we haven't capitalized either time, it just is beyond frustrating, especially with, again, what happened on the ice tonight, considering that not only because the Rangers didn't play awful in their own end, except for an awful play by Trouba on that second goal. Instead of playing the body, like always, he decides to play the stick there instead for whatever reason. And, you know, if he plays the body there, we're talking about a game that goes to overtime. But obviously that does not happen. For a game that they looked so sloppy offensively for, they held in pretty well. But they had to get something going offensively. And Toronto just kept shutting them down. And I can't be mad because they were generating some chances late. And it just, again, Toronto was just really great tonight defensively. So there's not much the Rangers really could have done in terms of that tonight, which it sucks because, you know, the past few games we've been used to them forechecking well, getting in the offensive zone and doing things. And it was also frustrating that it took them until the third period to get the memo that Jack Campbell's rebound control was all over the place during the night, that if they just shot one off the pad, off the chest, off the blocker, maybe you get a lucky rebound in front of the net, or maybe if you start crashing the net, you could pick up one of those rebounds. Special teams tonight, 0 for 1 for the Rangers on the power play, 1 for 1 for the Leafs. Joe Micheletti, of course, with the jinx there. He was there was a minute 30, or it was a minute 30 through that penalty kill, and he's like, oh, the penalty kills look great, and then Morgan Rielly ends up burying one. But that's what it is. But again, Trouba with a terrible defensive play on that one. Pims were split at 4, 31-19 in for hits favor of the Rangers, 7-12 in favor of the Leafs for blocks, and 8-19 Rangers with less giveaways. The first goal was scored by Morgan Rielly. Both were scored by him for the Leafs. Simmons and Bunting. The fact that you can't come away with the win when you kept guys like Matthews and Marner. Matthews got an assist, but you kept their big 4 guys off the score sheet from scoring a goal, and you don't come out with 2 points. That's at least 1. That's kind of embarrassing, if you ask me. You got to show up. You got to show up. But they almost did. They almost came through. But you knew that this was going to be a goalie duel going into it. You just knew it. And then how about Dryden Hunt scoring his first as a Ranger from Strome and Kakko. Kakko gets a point. We like that. But it just sucks that they couldn't get something late. The third line was cooking all night. We'll get into the lines. Shots per period, 7-5 in favor of the Rangers in the first. That doesn't really show how bad the Rangers were in the first. 7-12, which is weird that the Rangers got outshot in that period because I thought that they were a lot better. And then 14-13 for the Rangers in the third. You got to get more shots on goal. There were too many times where guys like Panarin were just making these sloppy passes. They couldn't make a simple tape-to-tape pass at all. in the first half of this game entirely. Sorry, my throat is killing me right now. I'm, like I said, feeling really sick right now. But there were times where they were trying to, instead of playing a north-south game, which they talked about, that's what they want to do. There's times where they're trying to make these ugly east to west plays, and it just doesn't look pretty because Toronto is going to feast on that in the neutral zone. You got to get the puck in deep and get a forecheck established, which the Rangers couldn't do all night. Let's get into the lines for tonight. Panarin, Strome, Kakko, not the best, not the worst performance from them. That line entirely gets 2 points technically, but Hunt was on the ice for the only goal, funny enough. But, not the best game, not the worst for them. But, I mean, it is what it is. They just weren't getting enough shots on. And Panarin didn't look like himself tonight. He looked like an off night, which it sucks because we're seeing Panarin look a lot more human out there when we need him to be. It just sucks that we finally build a great roster around him and it's not this rebuilding team, if you want to say. And Panarin starting to look more human this year than he has any other season, which kind of sucks. Kreider, Zibanejad, and Gaudreau, awful. That line was invisible all night. I thought Kreider was the best on that line again, but Zibanejad needs to get a wake-up call, and he needs to... I am tired of him going under the radar for how quiet he's been all season. If you look at the numbers, his Corsi is awful this year. The puck is never in the... it's never on the other end of the ice when he's there. And for your number one center to be as poor as he is in the face-off dot, he went 67, so all right, fine. He did the best, I guess, out of all of our centers, but everyone else was inexcusable. Strome, 8%, Rooney, 10%, Hedl, 17%. That's something that the Rangers are going to have to look at the deadline. You have to improve the center depth because it's inexcusable the amount of face-offs you're losing. Toronto is one of the best in the league, but you can't get dominated that bad still in the face-off dot. Trying to make it through this video. Oh my God, my throat. Lafreniere, Hedl, Gauthier was electric all night. Gauthier had great chance. He had 5 shots on goal. Lafreniere, I thought I remember him getting a shot or two. Hedl with a shot. They were flying up and down the ice all night. They looked really great. They were definitely the best line tonight, and they were the most consistent line tonight, which, by the way, speaking of consistent lines, the fourth line, which is usually consistent, had a bit of an off night. Drides does get his first goal, but it wasn't with Revo or Rooney out there on the ice. They looked a bit off. They didn't look great at all tonight. So that kind of sucks to see that they've been so consistent all year, but tonight was just not their night. But it is what it is, because I'm not going to give them crap for having one off night. Lindgren and Fox definitely had a bit of an off night too. They're making some sloppy plays, especially Fox. He made a couple of sloppy plays in the neutral zone, making some bad passes, but that was the whole team tonight. Miller and Trouba. Miller was fine tonight. Trouba, again, terrible defensive play on that second goal. He had 5 shots. If he needs to bury that goal that he had chance on late in the third period, that was inexcusable. And then Nemeth and Lundqvist were all right tonight. They never really stand out, but they never really are too bad. Igor, you could maybe argue he should have got the first goal, but I can't fault him because bodies were in front of the net at the same time, but he might want to have that one back. If there's one that you want to blame Igor for, it's definitely that one. He probably could have had that one if he got another chance there. But they fall 2-1 at the end of the night in this one. Let's just get to Twitter. I would keep going more, but my throat is just absolutely killing me right now and is scorching on fire. So we're just gonna try to get to Twitter and get through this video. That Sports Maniac says, are you starting to get concerned with the play of Mika Zibanejad? I'm glad someone else is picking up on the play of Zibanejad, and it's not just me noticing it. But yeah, I'm very concerned. It's looking like this guy just took the bag and just said, thank you, I'm not going to show up this season. It's inexcusable how bad he's playing, and the amount of times he's falling, and it's just embarrassing. Like, yeah, there may have been some problems with the ice because a lot of guys were falling a lot tonight, but this guy has been falling more than anyone out there. I don't know what it is. The puck bounces off his skate. He can't get a pass. He can't receive a pass if his life depended on it. And late in the third, he's falling on that last second chance. He's just looked embarrassing all season. He hasn't had any flashy goals at all. It's like, dude, what are you doing? I don't understand what the problem is with him, but I'm getting really worried. And I think that it's getting really under the radar how bad he's been this year. Like I mentioned, he has not looked good at all. People want to point out how some of the other guys have not looked good, like Barclay Goodrow, but that's because he's in a role that's not meant for him. People want to point out that Lafreniere's had a slow start. Well, sure, you could say that, but he still has not looked as bad as Zibanejad, at least in my opinion, because Zibanejad's making $8.5 million as far as I'm concerned, and start playing like you're making $8.5 million and be that number one center the Rangers paid you to be. Luke Dolan says, I know Toronto is really good with faceoffs, but holy crap, the Rangers need to be better in the faceoff dot. Yeah, I don't know what happened to that coach or whatever that they hired for faceoffs. They need him back, though. They clearly need that guy back. Like I said, inexcusable. No matter what team you're playing, you can't lose that bad in the faceoff dot. It's inexcusable. That's why the Rangers at the deadline, it's crucial that they go out and get a Tomas Hertl. They go out and get a Joe Pavelski, someone like that who could win in the faceoff dot. If Anaheim falls out of a playoff fight, you go out and get a Ryan Getzlaf. You get someone that will win in the faceoff dot. New York Style 24 says, well, we showed fight and Kakko point streak got extended. Yep, Kakko getting his point streak extended definitely could be a positive from this one, but yeah, they didn't quit at least. Because in the past, like I mentioned all the time with some of these games, with David Quinn teams, they'd throw their hands up and just not give a rat's ass anymore. At least they played to the whistle. They played to the final horn. It's just that, you know, between the puck drop and the final horn, it was just sloppy play at the start of the game, and they weren't prepared for a 7 o'clock puck drop, apparently, which is unfortunate. But yeah, and then you also sent a meme of the ref with the Toronto Maple Leafs logo on it. Yeah, the refs were not great, but again, I can't really blame just the refs when, you know, the Rangers or Toronto's defense was just really solid tonight. Colin says the face-off stat had me dead. Yeah, the face-off stat, it was embarrassing. It was truly awful. I'm not going to beat a dead horse and say the same thing that I've been saying, but yeah, they just no doubt need to improve and get someone that is going to win face-offs because it's embarrassing. But I believe that it's kind of glad that it's a little bit short and thin on replies because, like I said, yeah, my throat's scorching. It's on fire right now. I don't know if I sound any different or not, but it definitely feels different because holy shit, talking is not fun right now. But I'm going to stop talking because I'm going to end this video instead of having you guys listen to me ramble on. So leave a like if you did enjoy. Either way, leave a like. It helps out. Subscribe if you guys are new. Turn the notifications on, of course, as always. And I'll see you guys in the next one.